What's going on YouTube? It's AKingsCreation again, bringing you guys back another video. Now I promised you guys a farming video for the stretch goals. Okay, the stretch goals is now active and it ends in 2 weeks. So we're going to go ahead and showcase how we can get the maximum amount of season experience to rank up our stretch goals as quickly as possible to get all of these caches. Now, before we dive into those methods, I also wanted to break down the Blacklisters knee pad. Now, we received it after completing solo mastery climax mission. If you guys have not yet seen that video, I created a short, and also I am going to leave both of those, the short and the long form video, at the end of this video. With these methods that I am going to showcase, I will showcase some gameplay with it as well, but I am going to showcase the build that I'm going to use with these Blacklisters knee pads. So this is my #1 PvE build for efficiency when it comes to speed running through any of the PvE content in the open world for experience. Now, you could adjust this to strikers if you want to, but I like to use Heartbreaker during open world runs because it allows me to survive and still do a lot of DPS. I still believe that the Heartbreaker is the second best DPS set in the game other than Tip and Scales if you're using LMG. Now, I'm mainly focused on ARs and SMGs, so if you are interested in this build, make sure you stay tuned. I will break it down right now. So first off, we're going to use the gunner specialization. Now you're probably wondering, why am I using the gunner specialization instead of technician or the link laser pointer like before? Well, the reason this time is I want to use the gunner specialization because the gunner specialization allows me to use these modifiers or mods for the remote pulse. I want that extra 15% radius on it, and I also want that 15% effect duration. So that is really the main reason. Now for the modifiers we're using, just like in the previous videos I've showcased, we're using Sanitation, Rupert's Tear, Stepping Stone, and Batter Up. Okay, we're pairing it with the best AR or named AR in the game, which is the Lexington. It's coming with damage to target out of cover and measured. Now, we didn't put Streamline on it because we're going to be using a remote pulse and our shield a lot, so we had to switch to our next best talent, which is measured. The top half of the magazine has 25% rate of fire and negative 25% weapon damage. The bottom half of the magazine has negative 18% rate of fire and 30% total weapon damage. Then our next weapon is Ouroboros. This is by far the fastest DPS SMG in the game. All right, and it comes with damage to target out of cover on this one, and its talent is when the agent has a status effect applied to them, 50% of the ammo in their next magazine will apply that same status effect. So this is huge because it creates status effects if you get hit by them. Now I have the TDI card here equipped for the skill tier, but we never really switched to it. I've only used this in PvP, to be honest, but I love having it on as all my loadouts because it just gives you that +1 skill tier. For the mask, we're using Famous Group because we're going to be using the Lexington a lot, and also we're going to use the Ouroboros, but mainly I like to use the Lexington because it gives me the most distance. It gives me 10% assault rifle damage, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, critical hit damage. Then we're going with that 4-piece Heartbreaker, okay? Heartstopper, headshots apply pulse for 5 seconds. So the goal is to try to aim for headshots 99% of the time with this gear set or not. Your goal is to aim for headshots because it gives you the most damage. All right, weapon hits on pulse enemies adds a stack of 1% bonus armor and 1.1% weapon damage to pulse enemies up to 50 stacks. 2 stacks are lost each second. Comes with critical hit chance and a critical hit chance mod. And for the backpack, it increases total bonus armor gained per stack of Heartstopper from 1% to 2%. We're also using a chest piece, what gives us increases max stacks for Heartstopper from 50 to 100. All right, and on that it comes with critical hit chance and critical hit damage. For our gloves, we have critical hit damage, and for our holster, we have critical hit chance. Now for the Blacklisters knee pads, it comes with weapon damage, critical hit chance, and critical hit damage. Now the talent is insane. Let's talk about the talent. Shooting an enemy applies a mark. Only one mark can be active at a time. The mark disappears after 15 seconds or when the marked enemy dies. Receive 600 amplified damage from the marked enemy. That is insane. Deal 20% amplified damage to unmarked enemies. This is probably by far one of the meta exotic gear pieces you could have. If only one enemy remains in combat, the mark disappears and cannot be reapplied, okay? The remote pulse, what it allows this to do is it deploys at a set location and continuously pulses that nearby area for hostiles and visually highlights them on the Aegis HUD. So this what keeps us going with our Heartstopper, okay? It's just a pulsing the enemy, so we don't have to worry about pulsing them with the Link laser pointer. Now we're using Crusader Shield again for the extra protection and damage, and it comes with tier 4 because we have 3 blue cores, but also we have an extra skill tier. Because currently right now it's really tier 3 but tier 4, because as you guys can see, my character is holding my pistol, which I had mentioned before. It comes with +1 skill tier. So that is the full build itself. Let's look at its stats. So for the Lexington, we have 56% critical hit chance and 115 critical hit damage. And then for our Ouroboros, we got 60% critical hit chance and 115% critical hit damage. Let's go ahead and showcase this build and talk about the methods to increase our stretch goals as fast as possible. Now, my community is going to be ahead of the game on this one, because I released a video mentioning the importance of why you should skip most of these weeks and only focus on the high value target to unlock the climax mission. If you guys haven't seen that video, make sure you watch it. I also will leave that at the end of this video. What my community knows is that all these other weeks that we've skipped is actually going to be beneficial for us for the stretch goals week, okay? Here's why. This is by far the #1 best way of increasing your stretch goals, because if you look at the rewards, each one of these weeks comes with 4,400 experience towards your season. Now, if you've done all of these weeks before the stretch goals came out, unfortunate, I'm sorry for you. But for us, we are able to complete some of these weeks to get a lot of experience towards our stretch goals, okay? So this is one of the methods. If you haven't completed all your weeks, make sure you complete all your weeks to get the most amount of season experience as quickly as possible. Now, this is one of the methods. Let's look at another method. Now, another method would be the projects, okay? Your weekly projects are something that you can do to get experience, but as you guys can see, it only gives you 2,200, so it's like half of those weekly scout missions, okay? Make sure you do these as well and try to complete these weekly so you can get additional seasonal experience. Now, another way, or another method of increasing your stretch goals is to do your journey missions. Now, this is my least favorite one to do, but if you want to do your journey missions and try to achieve all of these, it will give you season experience. Now, as you can see, it's only 550. That's why I say it's not really my favorite method to do, but it is one of the methods to increasing your season experience. The next method I want to talk about is priority objectives. As you can see, some of them will give you different amounts of season experience. So this one is giving me 1,300 if I choose this one, and I've already chosen it. But you can choose out of the 3. I'm just going to abandon this one just for this reason, okay? As you can see, each one of these has a choice you can choose from, whichever one you want to do. You want to do activity, mission, or open world, and it shows you the length of the activity. So I guess the longer the length, the more season experience you can get. And you have 3 re-rolls that refresh after a certain time. You can re-roll these. If you don't like any of them, re-roll them and see if you could try to get a long mission or a long activity that will give you the most amount of season experience. All right, so that is another method. Now the other method I want to mention is just running normal activities will also contribute to your season experience. Like you can run countdown, you can run summit, all the other general XP methods, you know, public execution, all of them will give you small amounts of season experience. That will probably be the final method to doing that. So we want to go ahead and focus on the best method first, which is those weekly scout missions if you have not completed them. And then the next up will be those priority objectives and also your weekly projects. Okay, those are ones you want to focus on until you complete all those first, and then you can work on other around the world activities. So I'm going to show you guys some gameplay of me completing the weekly scouts that I haven't, and also probably doing one of the priority objectives and completing some of the projects. I'm just going to show you some clips of them, that way the video won't be too long, but I want to give you guys the methods and also showcase the build using the Blacklisters knee pad. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and showcase some gameplay. If you guys enjoyed this breakdown and review, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Okay, so we're approaching the final scout mission of the week that I was missing. So we're gonna go ahead and see how much experience I got. And I did a total of, as of recording, it says 12 minutes. I think 12 minutes we get 4,400 experience. Now keep in mind, I did do this on normal. All right, I completed the scout activity, and then I should have completed the whole week. Yep, scout completed and 4,400. Now we did this within 12 minutes on normal. Keep in mind that also we did delay it a few minutes, so it's probably 10 minutes. And let's see how much stretch goals we have achieved. See, we got 4 and almost 5. We almost did 5 levels in 10 minutes, guys. In 10 minutes, just off of one scout week on normal. Okay, so that's why I said the scout weeks is definitely the way to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a heroic one just so you guys can see what Blacklisters can really do. All right, so let's go ahead and switch the difficulty to heroic, and I'll show that gameplay. I know I switched this to heroic, so what the heck was that? They just all melted in one clip. Go ahead and throw out this remote post real quick. That's what I'm dealing with. And there you have it. Now, the only difference with this is that if you want a lot of armor protection, you definitely want to use the Ouroboros the entire time. But if you just want DPS period overall long distance, use the Lexington. But keep in mind, we have 1.3, so the more armor we have, the better our armor stacks will be. So I highly recommend changing your mask to like a blue core or to a blue core. Okay, this will allow you to have more armor stacks.